Blanchard, and you're watching Average Joe Sports Talk, and this is the Coach Steve Smith Show. It's brought to you by Clint Bradley with Country Financial, and we are in Coach Smith's office coming off of a big upset on the road against the Alexandria Valley Cubs. Congratulations, first and foremost. That was an amazing game. Great
night to be a Bulldog, that's for sure. And it was a wonderful atmosphere for high school football, that playoff atmosphere. Something that the 15 years I've been here, that's been a game that we had hoped to be able to get on the schedule. And I commend Coach again and thank him for giving us the opportunity to play this game, Week 10. It's a county game. The game means probably a lot more to the people that played in the 60s and 70s and 80s than it does to these kids tonight, because I don't think we've played since '93. So they've never known a matchup with Alexandria, but all the ones that are 50 plus like I am remember the old days of Piedmont and Alexandria, and when that was a war each and every year. And Alexandria's had the best of Piedmont in the overall series over the years. I think 54, 55 times they played, and we'd only won about 10 of those 55 heading into the night. And to go into a great environment like Death Valley, that's what I remembered as from when I played there when I was in high school. And to come out with a win, score there the last minute or so, and hard-fought game between two teams that finished 9-1, both won their region, and both looking forward to the second season. I was very proud of our guys for the way that they battled tonight.
Well, Coach, it was a battle, and no pun intended, it was a dogfight. We went in at halftime down 20-6. So what adjustments were made?
Well, it was kind of an odd game. There wasn't many possessions in this game. The first half, they had the ball 3 times and they scored 3 times. We had it twice, scored once, and got turned over on downs 1 time. I guess we would have had a third possession. It was one play, out there the last 12 seconds. We ran a play, but that was it. And we told the kids at halftime, we weren't doing a very good job on the defensive side. We had some chances to get off the field in the first half, and they had a 3rd and 25 one time that they gained 22 on, and then they went for it on 4th and made it by length of football. And then we had them in a 2nd and 15 situation and gave up a big play, and then he hit a big pass play down about the 3-yard line on the last touchdown of the first half. And we just weren't making plays and getting off the field on the defensive side. And we've got a really good defensive football team. We were playing without our quarterback on our defense, Landon Smart, middle linebacker. He sat out tonight, just been a little bit banged up, and trying to get him well for the playoffs. We made a decision not to play him, and we kind of struggled there in the first half on the defensive side. Just could not get off the field, and we kind of told them at halftime, we're better than that. We need to do a better job. And in the second half, we scored on the initial drive. We were able to get 1 stop, and then we come back and scored again. Went up 21-20. The next drive they drove in. It was kind of a stop because they kicked the field goal.
Right.
And then we had the ball for about 7 or 8 minutes right there at the end, drove it down 85 yards and scored. And then they had one other possession, and that was the fumble right there at the end. So, to be able to hold that team with all those playmakers and weapons to 3 points in the second half was a great job by our defense. And offensively, I thought we were very efficient tonight, scoring touchdowns on 4 of the 5 full drives that we had.
This team, to me, has one of the biggest hearts that I've ever seen, and they're tough as nails. I know that a lot of people are going home, with a bruise or a scrape here and there, but I know that you guys are ready. We're already looking towards next week, because that's what you do.
Right. Well, it's for them to go in there and see a bunch of kids leaving with ice bags and stuff. That's the way it's supposed to be. Football's contact sport. It's physical sport, and it's a matter of wheels and getting after each other. And we didn't have anybody that got seriously injured tonight. We got some normal bumps and bruises, and maybe a few stitches here or there and things like that. But I just suck it up and get ready for the next one.
This was a great game. Did you have a peanut gallery?
I do have a peanut gallery for you, gotcha. Coach. First play of the 4th quarter. All right. You kind of hit on it a second ago yourself, talking about Alexandria did a very good job of holding onto the ball and extending those drives and milking the clock out. And we were staying on the sidelines. I was saying that this is a major play right here, not just for the points, but because if you turn the ball over right here, starting the 4th quarter, they have 97 yards of field to work with.
Right.
So going into that play, tell us what you landed on and how you came to that conclusion, because it was a beautiful
Well, we executed it well. You don't see very many reverses called on the 4-yard line.
Mm-mm.
But we do a lot of the what I call flip pitch with Estes. Austin gives us, he's like having a dual threat guy. He's a great receiver, but he also gets a lot of those little pitches that are really just extended running plays. And people have seen that on film. We've done it a lot over the last couple of years to take advantage of his speed. And we have a little reverse off of that where we flip it. He'll catch the flip, and then he flips it backwards to Jaden. And we told the kids, you get that one time in a season maybe. Other people say it on film, other people stay at home for it, but they did an outstanding job of executing that play. And Jaden was able to pretty much walk in the end zone and put us up with the extra point, put us up 21-20, and gave us a lead for the first time on the night. And not that you don't ever think that you're supposed to win a game. I've said that many times about this group. They think they're supposed to beat whoever's on the other side. But when you go in there licking your chops 20-6 at halftime and you hadn't stopped them, even with the most confident players, there's got to be a little doubt going through their mind. But after we went up right there, I think that told our kids, hey, this is where we're supposed to be. This is how we're supposed to be playing. We can win this game. And like I said, Alexandria's credit, they're a championship caliber team. They went right back down the field, and you get that thing inside of 30, and that kid's pretty much automatic. And he kicked a big field goal to put them back up 23-21. And then, they've been pooch kicking it all night. They kicked it deep, kicked all the way down about the 3-yard line, and we got tackled on 12 or 13, something like that. It was 86 yards away from pay dirt, and about 8 minutes on the clock. And just to have one of those types of drives, like I call a championship drive, had to have it. But again, it's it's the same thing that we've said many times before about our kids. They don't panic. Last week we were in a situation at Weldon, we had to go down and score. Of course, that was a tie game. It's a little bit different when you're in a tie game in the sense that you got a little bit of a security blanket that if you don't score, you got overtime. But tonight being down 23-21 and every snap, having to protect the football and line blocking to the whistle blew. We hit a couple big passes on that drive, including the touchdown there at the end. But just a championship caliber drive, what you expect out of a team that's been there and done that. And these guys, go back to the Mobile Christian game last year, Weldon game last week, this game this week. Had an opportunity, for a last-minute drive against Ohatchee, and Ohatchee made one more play than we did, and that's just what it goes sometimes. But I don't think these guys panic when they're in those situations, and they kept believing and was able to pull one out.
That's one thing I'll always say is that you've got such a great team of great kids that are. It's not just one leader. It's like you've got multiple leaders on every aspect, and it's something for I noticed that even the younger kids that have been pulled up to finish out this season, they've got some great role models to look up to. Landon being out was still, trying to help. He was in every defensive huddle. He was, right. And that to me is, maybe it's that I'm a girl that I think that's the greatest thing in the world, but I also feel like as a former athlete, that's what you look for. That is from the coaches. It starts from the top and it works its way down. And you guys have done a great job of setting those examples and being those role models to these kids, to be role models to younger kids. And that is one thing that I'll always say. Piedmont, they've got heart and they've got leadership.
I think leadership is defined not necessarily in how the leader performs. Leadership is defined in my book by how the person's able to inspire everyone else to perform. When you think about the great leaders in the game of football, whether it's a coach or a player or whatever, those players are typically, or those coaches are typically the ones that can get everyone else to get the maximum out of their abilities. And, I feel like you hit the nail on the head there. We've got some guys there that can really inspire everybody else to play sometimes even better than they think they can play. And, when you looked at those guys that Alexandria had out there, they got guys running around all over the field that are super fast and able to make plays, and we got guys in there that are, busting their tail doing what they can to gang tackle, and you're trying to just hem up number 2, or you're trying to just hem up number 1 or number 3, because they've got the potential to take that thing to the house anytime they touch it. And for our guys just to rally around the ball and play good team defense and we're not going to wow anybody with anything that we do. We're not going to wow anybody with our size or with our athleticism. And we just got a group of guys that are hard-nosed and play good high school football together as a squad. And, it makes me real proud as their coach.
It makes me real proud as someone who, as a former Piedmont person, coach, we're in playoffs next week.
Right.
We're looking ahead to it. I know that you guys are ready. I know that you've got things that you need to do to get out of here and to get home to your
the big thing I'm getting on too. I'm getting on with no power and getting up at 6 o'clock to head to Montgomery tomorrow. But that's a good get up at 6 o'clock. It's always good if you're getting to go to those playoff meetings in Montgomery. It means you're doing something right. And I just tell them, I said I may dread it getting home at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and hitting the road at 6 o'clock, but the reward's definitely worth it if you keep winning and get to keep playing.
Well, Coach Smith, we will see you next week. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to hang out with you. This is like some real life hero worship. I'm not gonna lie.
It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate what y'all do. Appreciate Average Joe's and giving us the opportunity to do a little recap each week. It's pretty cool.
Well, thank you, Coach. And you guys, this was another episode of the Coach Steve Smith Show. And again, that's brought to you by Clint Bradley. He's with Country Financial. And as always, if you think you're going to die, Clint's your guy. Thanks, guys.